This is Sam Spencer reporting live from the New Zealand Embassy. I'm pleased to be joined by Auburn Mayor John Jenkins. How long ago were you elected?
I was elected 2 years ago for my first term as mayor of the great city of Auburn.
And you were the first person to ever be elected, both mayor of Lewiston and then mayor of Auburn. Is that correct?
I was fortunate, yes. I was mayor of Lewiston and then state senator, and then I moved to Auburn and now elected mayor of Auburn. So that's the first in Maine's history that someone's been mayor of two different communities.
And you weren't the first African American mayor elected in history in Maine. That was Bill Birney of Augusta, but you were the second.
Second is correct, yes. First for Lewiston and the first for Auburn, of course, as well.
How about state senate? Were you the first?
I was the first and only African American in state senate, and so I've been fortunate that Maine people thought enough of me to allow me to serve the community in such a way, even in terms of my last election. I served my first year and met and exceeded some of the goals that the citizens wanted, and I stepped out saying, thank you, I'm done. But then they said, no, we're going to write your name in, and lo and behold, we made history again by being the first person in Maine history, as well as I think U.S. United States history politically ever been written as mayor to win an election. So
that's amazing.
Well, it's amazing, and it's humbling at the same time, because it is an awesome responsibility to have that level of support and from the people. You don't want to disappoint the people, and so I think my success is really due to listening to the people and actually delivering on those promises they expect.
What are some of the things you've been working on in Auburn in your latest term? What are your priorities?
Well, one of the priorities, that's why part of the reason I'm here for the inaugural, to say at least this historic moment, but the other part is I'll be meeting with the mayor here in D.C., as well as meeting with officials from EPA. There are a number of brownfield projects that are in the state of Maine. I know that some of the administration is looking for shovel-ready projects, and we have a number of them in Maine, and I'm just here to promote rural needs, such as a place like Maine. So it's not just Auburn, but I also chair what's called the Mayor's Coalition of the Regional Service Centers, which is the bulk of Maine's population: Bangor, Brewer, Waterville, Augusta, Lewiston, Auburn, Portland, South Portland, Bedford, Saco, you name it. So I chair this group, and so what I would be doing is on behalf of the bulk of Maine's population and looking at Brownsfield's initiatives. So as a shovel-ready projects, we have a number of them. So that's one of the things I'm working on while I'm here. And as mayor, again, I'm looking at ways that we can really save our taxpayers' dollars the best we can.
Well, the people of Auburn are very lucky to have such a strong advocate in you.
Thank
doing
you.
What you're doing down here.
Well, I take my job seriously. It is a humbling honor and opportunity, and I have, on a very small scale, I have a true sense of what President Obama is dealing with, in that he's got so much public trust in him, and we pray that he does a great job, not just a good job, but a great job, because his success will be America's success. And so we're all praying that he does extremely well, and that and he'll listen to the voices of smaller communities like that of the state of Maine and other places like that. But I know he will.
Now, you worked very hard for the election of Barack Obama. You were telling me you were knocking on doors with former Governor Angus King. Is that right?
Well, it's funny you mentioned election night. There was Governor Baldacci, former Governor King, and myself giving a last-minute rally meeting with the supporters. But then Governor King and I went out to the neighborhoods and knocked on doors. And when the people opened their door, they were very surprised. Number one, that the mayor and the former governor were standing there. They said, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" And of course, we were out there really. Governor King was kidding. We said, it's our work in the community, and I put him over the top. But in fact, I am in awe of the organization that was set up in Maine. That's probably true everywhere else, but the folks who ran the campaign in Maine were just outstanding, unquestionable professionals at the highest level. The organization was just very thorough and well organized and disciplined, and that was just awe-inspiring at how well they worked and making this come to fruition. So I was just really impressed with that. But election night, we were there knocking on doors on behalf of Barack Obama, but at the same time, when I went to vote, I took a deep breath and paused. And to be honest with you, I shed a tear because I remember there are some family members who have a real recorded history of who were former slaves who could not vote, who were tarred and feathered because they tried to vote. And so I took a moment to give stock what this really meant.
And considering what a trailblazer you've been for African Americans in Maine, what does it mean to you to have the first African-American president in the history of the country?
Well, it's personally, it's very rewarding. At the same time, I realize I kind of keep a broad perspective of things in that my generation and those before mine, he is our first African-American president. However, for the younger generation coming up, he's just the first president that they've come to know. So he's not distinguished necessarily by his African-Americanism, but the fact that he has so much incredible support across the board from so many people, which is what this next generation is really all about. Is they're saying, yeah, what's the big deal, so to speak?
Right.
They're saying, will he do a great job, basically? And I think the young people that showed up and that worked on his campaign really is testimony to his broad reach. So, but personally, I'm in awe because I, like many people, thought it'll never happen in my lifetime. So, but that's my perspective for this next generation of leaders. He's just an outstanding leader, and they're praying that he, in fact, that's why they worked so hard, that he would get elected. So I just can't thank you all enough for, choosing him as a candidate.
Well, I thank you.
Well, and I thank him for serving our country, because it's so hard. I don't care what your political persuasion is. Anyone who steps up to the plate to serve the community on any level, it's a huge sacrifice personally and financially, and so I understand how on a very basic level how much of a sacrifice it is, but every American should aspire to serve their community in some way.
Well, John Jenkins, Mayor of Auburn, former Mayor of Lewiston, former state senator, former karate champ.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Oh, karate champ, we got that.